to discuss the growing market and growing opportunities and what the new cannabis legalization means for Europe, in Germany and everything. We have the founder and CEO of Demecan. He's around here somewhere. Let's hear it for Dr. Adrian Fischer. There he is. Good morning.
How are you, man? Good to see you.
Thank you. Yeah, okay. Welcome, everyone. It's really true, Peter will be missed, and he was also the first lawyer we got in touch with in Germany when we started here out. But I'm sure his spirit, ideas, and the legal framework will hopefully continue to prevail in the German system, and this is also what I'm going to talk about during the next 10 minutes. Yeah, my name is Adrian Fischer. I'd like to share with you what happened in the German market. Not the headlines, not the hype. I'm trying to build this up on data. I can move on here. I have a medical background. I studied medicine and specialized in neuroscience. And my question was always, how can we get therapies from the lab to actually serve patients' needs? I've spent a couple of years doing that, was in the end teaching here in Berlin. And then I co-founded a medical cannabis company called Demecan with two friends of mine. And we were one of the first companies, one of the three, that actually got a cultivation license in Germany. Then in 2020, we built a GMP-certified cultivation facility to the highest pharmaceutical standards. And then in April 2024, Germany legalized. And this is something that really changed it. I'm not here to pitch you my company. I'm here because I've been inside this market now for 10 years, and that's actually before there was a market in Germany. And what we've seen in the past 2 years really changed what I would have imagined to happen here. In April, most of you know that, Germany enacted two landmark pieces of legislation. The KCANG, the Consumer Cannabis Act, which allowed home growing, established cultivation associations, and also decriminalized personal use. The MedCanG, the Medical Cannabis Act, descheduled cannabis and dramatically simplified access to medical cannabis in Germany. Now here's why Germany matters. It's 84 million people, out of which 5 million or even more than 5 million consume cannabis on a somewhat regular basis. That doesn't exist anywhere else. The US is a large market, but all the different countries or the different states have their own rules. Canada is significantly smaller, and while the Netherlands do have a long-standing cannabis culture, they move around 100 tons through coffee shops. Australia and Israel are growing at roughly 30 to 40 tons each per year. That's an order of magnitude smaller. Now, these 8 million, they don't just stand in the room. It has already been mentioned. We have a scientific evaluation of the program of the legalization in Germany, the EcoCan study. And all of these 5.3 million people now have access to medicinal cannabis. Now, this market has always existed. It's not something that has opened up, but it gives us the ability to scientifically check how a legalization can happen and if that is a valid role model for other countries in Europe as well. Can we switch slides? It doesn't work. Can you go to the next slide? Yeah, perfect. Yeah, so let me show you what that looks like in practice. If we look at the timeline, these are the imports of medicinal cannabis to Germany. We were around 5 tons in 2018, which then increased to 33 tons in 2023, and then the legalization happened. 65 tons in 2024, and now we are at more than 200 tons in 2025. This equals approximately 1 million patients that now have access to medicinal cannabis. And what does that actually mean for the illicit market? The study has very closely looked at the total consumption numbers, and these have remained somewhat constant. Now, if we move 200 tons out of the illicit market into a legal framework, that means that we have reduced the illicit market by roughly 200 tons, which equals 25% of the whole illicit market. And this has happened in just 18 months. We can also look at what that means for youth. The problematic use is at an all-time low. That has also been confirmed by this study. And it has also significantly reduced criminal cases. There have been a reduction by more than 100,000 per year, which more than halves all the criminal cases associated with cannabis. So this is the most significant liberalization in the history of the Federal Republic of Germany. This is not what I'm saying, this is what the report says. And that's another number that might surprise many, but probably not you if you're in the medicinal cannabis market. That is that the price for pharmaceutical cannabis is now significantly lower than what you can get in the illicit market. Prices are in the range of 6 to 8 euros, sometimes even much lower, whereas the illicit market hovers around 8 to 9 euro. Now, I think we need to be honest about that. Honesty is something this industry definitely requires. The entire legal market in Germany runs through the medical channel. That means it runs through pharmacies. There is no recreational retail, and there are no dispensaries and no coffee shops. The medical channel currently absorbs that demand, and under different European regulatory frameworks, this might be regulated as an adult use framework. This is very clearly evaluated in the EcoCan study as well. Now, this is a question that German politicians have to solve, but until then, the medical channel is the only legal framework that exists. Now, is this the ideal system? I think we got to be honest. It's probably not. But what's the alternative? The alternative is the illicit market. That means we don't have quality standards, we don't have age verification, no protection for the youth, and no tax revenues and no data. Now, Germany has found another solution that is compatible with European law. While the cannabis associations, the cultivation associations, there are around 360 currently, only cover 4% of the demand in Germany. So I'd say the German medical channel and the current system is definitely not perfect, but we have created a framework that actually functions, and it functions at scale. So I'll take imperfect but functional over idealistic and imaginary. Now, the picture we need to look at is that we have so far tapped into 200 tons of the total demand that we have. That is 800 tons. So there's 600 tons of demand that's still unmet. This demand is existing, and now the question is, what's required to be successful in this market? Three things are really important. So I think for everyone it's clear EU GMP is required. That is non-negotiable. Every single gram that's sold in Germany needs to go through pharmacies, so it needs to be medically produced and to a high standard. Second, what's required is processing capacity. I think cultivation alone is far from being enough. You need the full value chain. That means extraction, processing, packaging, distribution. This market is rapidly moving away from flowers and towards higher form factors, such as extracts or live preparates, such as live rosin. And third, and I think this is increasingly critical, is that you require access to an own cultivation. In the past 12 months, we've seen regulatory crackdowns all over Europe, cannabis facilities being shut down, GMP producers losing their license, and I think cannabis supply chains are a lot more fragile than most people realize. So own cultivation guarantees that you will have product available, and for patients, this is not a nice to have. Out of stock, never out of stock products is a requirement for a pharmaceutical product and for a pharmaceutical patient. So I think that's a basic requirement. To sum it up, we have the largest combined market, 84 million people, or roughly 1 million patients, 200 tons absorbed into this market, and probably 600 tons that are still open. We have seen the most significant cannabis liberalization probably in European history, and this has been confirmed by independent government-funded research that shows the efficiency and the results of this liberalization. This evaluation is still ongoing. We will have the final results in 2028, but so far I think the data is very clear. This market has been here before the law, and it will continue to grow regardless of who participates in this market. I think the question is not whether this market exists or will continue to exist. The only question is who's going to serve it and to what standard will it be served, under regulation or if it goes back into an unregulated market. Now, our motto at our company, Demecan, is cultivating quality of life, and this is what it's about for us here. I'm very happy and thankful that I can be here, and I invite every one of you to come meet us at our booth. It's 244. We're happy to have discussions and meetings with all of you. With that, I hope you all have and enjoy a very pleasant ICBC 2026. It's amazing how many people are here. It's a lot more than I've seen in the last years, and really happy to go into exchange with all of you. Thank you very much.
Thanks again. Let's hear it. Dr. Adrian Fischer.